From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
Sunday night, Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers look to snap a 2-game losing streak when they invade Tinseltown for a showdown with Matthew Stafford and the Rams.
It's a caught ball. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Touchdown, Buccaneers. It's Tez Johnson. Touchdown, Buccaneers.
Pre-game at 7, kickoff at 8:20.
What a throw by Baker Mayfield.
Hear it live on the Buccaneers Radio Network.
Tallahassee's home for Tampa Bay Bucs football. Real Talk 93.3.
It's time for Seminole Headlines featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
See, Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV begins right now. There's Corey. There's Ira. I'm Jeff. Thanks for being here, everybody. We appreciate you. If you're driving about town, hello. If you're watching on Warchant TV, thanks for being here as well. We appreciate you. Ira, Corey, how are you, boys?
Great. Let's get to that promo code, Ira. Is there one?
Uh-oh.
There was a promo code this week.
Well, in that case, yay, sausage!
You have to give me a sec. You couldn't give me a heads up 10 seconds
Did you not
ago?
know we were doing the show today?
Well, I don't know. Maybe we wouldn't start off with the register sausage.
Yeah, but it's been, you never know with
We
Jeff
can
what he's
switch it
going
up with a little Birch Orthodontics early
start
on
with
here.
Tavello.
Yeah, let's have a beer. We could all use one.
There was yeah. In fact, Ben apologized again.
Profusely or just apologize?
I think it was a sincere apology.
I mean, I'd like profuse.
Me too.
So you can get 35% off of register sausage all week. All week, guys. Get on this now. You got a few more days left with the promo code DEEPBALL, which I think
I was a little worried where you were going there.
What in the world?
Deuce Robinson.
Oh, okay.
Got a lot of deep passes.
Man, Corey and I instantly went to the gutter.
Well,
We're like,
everybody does.
What is happening here?
It's apparently deep ball.
But
in
it's
all
not plural.
caps.
It's not plural.
It's in all caps. Deep
Ball
ball.
with balls with a Z.
Ball. Just ball. Ball.
Like if you're going to go balls deep, but just one deep ball.
Yikes, Ira.
No, I'm just saying.
We just lost half our listeners.
Just saying.
If you're throwing the deep ball, guys,
Yeah,
you're throwing
the ball deep.
ball.
Yeah. Okay. So
We're just throwing the deep
that's the order of
ball.
words is deep ball.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, great.
We're just
Also, hey,
going deep.
you're welcome, Ben. You're welcome.
35% off.
It's a hell
And
of a bonus.
if you were following Register Sausage that night when Florida State beat Virginia Tech by throwing the deep ball, you would have could have gone in for one of the five free bonus packages that he was offering up. But there was a promo code for that, but you don't get that
Okay, well,
now.
perfect. Also, they only threw one deep ball. They only completed one. That was why I was confused by the whole promo code aspect of it. Like, why would that be?
How many do you need?
Well, I guess just the one. I guess that's why it wasn't plural.
That's
it
right.
was just one of them.
Deep ball.
Yeah. Maybe this week it'll be deep balls.
It's the Jeff Bowden offense.
Yeah.
Downtown. Running that 9 route, baby.
Hey, I
Let's
tell you
go.
what, he did look different running the ball, which is the whole thing. If
Yeah.
he looked like that all season, legitimately, they beat Stanford by a couple. I'm being dead serious. They win at least 2 more games.
Yeah.
I don't know where that went. I don't know all of a sudden why he's healthier after the Clemson game, but he looked the quickness, the way he made people miss. I was telling Aslan this. When's the last time Tommy made somebody miss, like in the open field?
Even,
that hasn't
even efforted. To
yes,
make somebody-
that hadn't happened since I feel like Alabama, maybe Virginia. It hadn't happened.
Yeah,
so
I think
it
you're
was
right.
odd that was the case on Saturday night.
And that is the problem with a smaller quarterback whose legs you're going to require, to be part of making this offense dynamic, is that there's always that risk if it happens that he gets dinged in any way at any point, then your offense becomes a shell of itself, and that's exactly what's happened this year. And you don't really want to rely on him to be a consistent drop back passer because he's not accurate enough, and he misses it a lot. So it's one of those things where you have to have that element. And if they move on from him, and Ira, what do you think is going to happen there? I know all year long people have asked us whether or not they would bring him back.
Man, there are some lights in here. I mean, they're all over us
Lights
right now.
there, lights there, lights there.
It's really bouncing off the dome. Yeah.
No, but
Does it look all right?
It looks fine. The way they
Okay,
have it
great.
set
Does it
up.
look like I have a tan?
No.
Okay, well.
Not at all. But yeah, so I personally don't think I'd go that route. But the point is, if they're running it back, and we'll see if they do. There's a lot of stuff to play out yet. I guess they could. Do you have I know he walked. I mean,
yeah. I mean, my impression from what I've been hearing for the last few weeks is that I do think Tommy's family is going to apply for an extra year, which he should get. I mean, it's not a cut and dry. I've talked to a couple of people.
It'd be crazy if he didn't.
No, I agree. But apparently they've just been like where we were a couple of years ago where everybody was getting extra years. Like they weren't, if you asked for extra years, you were getting them.
Yeah.
They're trying to cut that back because they've won some lawsuits, and they just shot down the 5 for 5 idea, which would have given him that 5th year. But I still think he would get it.
You know the whole story, like how he went in that game? So he had played the 4 games, and the 5th one was the AAC championship game. And it was because
John Rice
Plumlee got hurt. In the real backup quarterback, the second stringer, had already opted out of the game because he was redshirting because
modern college
he didn't want to burn his shirt,
Sure.
so he wasn't even dressed out. So Tommy was the emergency quarterback. So Tommy burned his red shirt, so this guy wouldn't burn his, which kind of sucks.
Well, it's also, listen, man, that's a cool thing for Tommy because
it says something about him that he did it. Yeah,
because he could have been like, yeah, man, I'm not doing that either. But it was a conference championship game, so he did it, and then he had no way of knowing that a year later they were going to change the rules, so those games don't count anymore. And so he should get that year back. I think he and his family are applying for it, and then they'll figure out what they're going to do. But there are 2 parts of the equation. One is, does he want to come back to Florida State? And then because listen, Gus, there's no guarantee Gus would be here next year. That could change. And then it's up to whether or not whoever the head coach is and that staff wants to bring him back. So I thought the way he answered it was probably the only way he could when he talked after the game on Saturday, which was, we'll see what happens. But I do think he's going to apply for that year. As for what I would do, I think probably the same way as you guys. If you could guarantee me Tommy Castellanos that it's going to be this system and that he's going to be healthy, I could see doing that. Sure. But you can't guarantee he's going to stay healthy. He's probably not going to stay healthy. So I would look in a different direction.
Yeah, I'd go a different direction. Yeah. I wouldn't even think twice, and I would definitely move on. But just because of that, I don't think you can guarantee he's going to be healthy, and you do require somebody to be mobile. So it's fascinating. It's interesting, guys. I went and looked yesterday because we were talking about this, and then I started to do more research on it. I love the NFL draft, so for me to dive into the NFL draft way in advance is fun.
Falcons are going to get a pretty high pick, gang.
They're good about it.
And Penix is out for the year. So
man, I'm telling you, the trajectory is going to be top 5.
Is it true he's missed he's 6 of his last 8 years or something?
Penix has had a knee thing, probably.
I think
he's also like 31. Yeah. So anyway. But great pick.
Did he come from the Dominican Republic and play baseball? I mean, what is going on?
He might be 16 or he might be 29.
He could be 43. We don't know. He's a young-looking 43. But anyhow, we started talking about Dominic Robinson and the great year that he's having. And
Deuce.
Deuce. Dominic's probably having a great year too.
I bet Dominic is having a great year.
Pretty good year for old Dominic.
So we started talking about Deuce, and I was saying, it's weird. For as electrifying as he's been, you just don't see him on these draft boards yet. And I said, he'll test through the roof. He'll interview. He'll be a rock star in that way. Obviously, you can't teach the physical tools that he has. And I said, the one downside to his game is he's a double catcher. He doesn't catch it clean. He's got to get better at that. NFL coaches hate that because the windows are so tiny in the NFL.
So basically, he needs to come back.
You got to catch the ball.
Yeah.
But I said, I wonder where that'll be a knock. It'll certainly be a knock, but not enough with all the other physical tools. He's not listed right now as within the top 7 or 8 receivers that are going to go in the draft. So for now, and we'll see, it would project somewhere late second, early third at this point.
My thought on that is, and we've talked about this before, it's just that so much of the draft coverage right now is based on coming into the season.
Sure.
And so that's why a lot of times you would see guys that were projected as first round picks going into their senior season.
Yeah.
But then they're not having that kind of season. But you don't see it reflected until the end of the season when the scouts are turning in all their information, and now the teams are, because right now I think a lot of the media people are basing it off of what guys were thought of at the end of last season.
And he's second.
He's come out of nowhere.
He's incredible.
He wasn't even on the Blitnikoff list, like the watch list at the beginning of the season, which I think is probably
every receiver 70, in the country,
80, 100 guys. He wasn't even on it.
You know who wasn't on it either, because I didn't even get to vote for him because I would have, was Malachi Toney. Wasn't even an option.
Well, because he was a freshman.
Yeah, but I mean,
so that's what
I guess I could have written him in, but I'm not doing that for a Kane.
Midway through the year, they do add people, and so Deuce got added, I believe, midway through the year, and then now he's
so he's fifth in the country in receiving yards. Period. He's second in the Power Four, behind only his former teammate at USC, the Lemon kid, who's not come out of nowhere, but he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he's a draft eligible junior too. So or third year player. So I wonder if Deuce would entertain the.
That's the only reason I brought any of this up. Wasn't to debate that. Yeah, he'll be better perceived as these. As
and he's draftable. He's at worst a second day pick. You would think. Yeah.
So there's no doubt he's got some things to refine about his game. Clean catching is the biggest thing, but I don't know if it's enough to keep him from going pro. Is my point. That's really what I was getting at. Because if you could get him back, and you went out and got a quarterback that was mobile but was more accurate down the field. He doesn't have to be as dynamic a runner as Tommy. Few are, but you can be a lot better as a passer. And if you get that, maybe you would have a little something there where you could get excited. I think we're going to have a hard time engineering that excitement if we run this back as is. I'll be very surprised if
you
there aren't
say
some
that,
changes.
but what if? I'm sure this will be the brunt of the show. If they decide that this whole thing is you're running this whole thing back, and you bring in a elite quarterback or what you think is a big name quarterback,
that would be
everybody that's saying there's no enthusiasm, there'd be no excitement going to 2026 because this guy's still the head coach. Man, you can miss me with that if you bring in a quarterback that everybody believes in. That changes the perception of everything.
Well, yes and no. You got to replace 5 offensive linemen just about.
Hand and Malzahn got that. I'm not being.
Hold on. We don't know that.
Well,
we don't know if Malzahn's back. We don't know if that's the other part. I mean, are the coordinators back or not? I mean,
a lot of moving parts here, Ira.
A lot of moving parts.
But I'm saying if you run it back with a Hand and Malzahn and Norvell, I have all the confidence in the world they'll be able to run the ball. They just will. That's what they do.
Yeah.
So if you bring in a quarterback to throw to Deuce. Man, man.
Well, now we've got Deuce coming back, and now you've got a new quarterback.
You've got some real excitement around the program.
No, I see the point Corey's making, though. I made the same thing when I was talking to Tom last night on the Smash, that the excitement is not going to come around Mike Norvell if he returns as the head coach, clearly.
No chance.
But what the roster looks like could create that excitement.
Yeah.
So when people talk about how apathetic everybody's going to be, well, let's see. Let's see what the roster looks like. Because just like Wisconsin made the decision, Maryland made the decision to say, you know what, we're not just going to fire a head coach. We're going to invest in players. And if Florida State can do that, that can change things. And again, I don't think if Gus Malzahn's the offensive coordinator, you're not getting an elite quarterback.
You're not.
That's a problem.
But you could get a very dynamic quarterback, maybe a Sellers type of player, somebody like that who's a dynamic player and maybe also has the running threat, which helps the running game, but also is a better passer and can take the punishment of being – taking those carries.
DJ Lagway, maybe?
I don't know. There's a lot of guys out there.
I would not want him.
Look at what
anywhere
Kenny's doing a pretty good job with Jeff Sims. I mean, I do think if you get the right player in the system, it could work. But you have that position. If you can bring back Deuce, if you can bring back Mekhi Danzy, if you can bring back Usman Kromah, Randy Pittman, there's a lot of players on this team that with a quarterback – and you rebuild the offensive line. And again, just like a great offensive line can prop up a quarterback like Ken Dorsey, a great quarterback can prop up an offensive line. And so
like Jordan Travis, apparently.
Yeah. So I just think that we will know a lot more about what we think is possible next year and whether or not there's going to be apathy or excitement based on what they do with players if Mike Norvell comes back.
A big part
and
of
the quarterback's a huge part of it.
Quarterback is, and also who you retain. I got to imagine, I guess to that end, these 2 games mean a lot. I didn't think they would, but I guess they do.
I think this game means a lot.
Well, if you lose this game,
I'm done.
Oh, this is the game?
Yes, 100%.
Why this game and not Stanford?
Can we explore your?
No, Stanford was it too.
Well,
but that didn't happen. Because I made this point on Wake Up.
Yeah, I've been waiting for my cross examination.
So
listening to that,
I think if he beats NC State, go ahead and say he's staying. If he loses to NC State, be done with it. I don't want to give Florida the satisfaction of dictating Florida State's future by a win or a loss with a 3-8 Florida team dictates whether you're going to spend $75 or $80 million on your head coaching search. That, to me, don't give them the satisfaction of it. Also, don't make the Florida game an $80 million game.
But you're okay making the NC State game the $80 million. That's the part I didn't understand. Like, why?
It's fair. It's fair. It's a fair counter. I get it. If you go 2 straight years without winning a single game on the road in the ACC, and you finish I know 4-12 isn't much better than 3-13.
Or 1 win,
but
in the ACC isn't much better than 0 wins, Corey.
But at least it's something you could like hang your hat. Like, don't go into the Florida game with a question mark of whether he's going to be your coach or not. Is my opinion. Like, figure it out. Make the NC State game the game, and if he loses it, be done with it.
This is where people get frustrated. If you were going, let's say you're inclined. Let's say they just. I'm going to boil it down and make it an oversimplification. But let's just say they come hell or high water, they don't want to spend that money.
Yeah.
It seems pretty clear.
Well, then announce it now.
They should have announced it already then.
Yeah.
Well, but then what the problem is,
they could have collapsed.
If you lose all those games.
They could have collapsed Wake and Virginia Tech. Yeah, I get it.
They could have lost those
but
games.
Now they're through those woods, Ira. Go ahead and announce it now.
Well, I don't.
Dude, based on the way they played at Stanford, that was a possibility.
Yeah, I thought they might lose out
because of the way they played at Stanford.
I got you. I'm not saying they shouldn't have.
But you never would have thought they'd win not only 2 of the next 3 with the way they played that game, but kind of dominating fashion 2 games at home. That wasn't what they looked like. So at least they bounced. I know, Wake's a 7-win team. When they lost to Stanford, I'm like, there's a chance they're going 4-8 or 3-9. Like, that's right on the table. They might not win again.
Especially when we heard how Mike Norvell talked after the game.
Yeah,
And so, that's the problem. If you gave him the void of, and that's what I talked about at the time, that statement they put out was very carefully worded. I'm not saying it was a good statement, but they were trying to walk a fine line between letting the team know we're not making a change right now, relax, this is not the end of the line, but not also saying, we're definitely sticking with this guy no matter what, because what if the bottom did fall out? Well, the bottom now hasn't fallen out.
Okay, well, then announce now. Announce now, because in 2 weeks from tomorrow.
We're waiting till Raleigh, baby.
2 weeks from tomorrow is the early signing period, so here we go, right? I mean, you kind of got to know.
Except they're getting commitments. I mean, the coaching staff is telling them that we're going to be here, which is what you have to do.
Announce it to the world you're going to be here. Let's go. Just solidify it and tell everybody he's coming back.
I'm telling you, I think it's this game, gang. If they lose this game, I think he's done. I think if he wins this game, I think there's no point. What are you going to just be mum until the Florida game? And then he loses to a bad Florida team or beats a bad Florida team, and that dictates his fate? Come on, man.
Maybe they just want to fire him in Gainesville. Like they're just
leave him there. Leave him there. Maybe he'll be the next coach in Florida.
It is infinitely frustrating. I think there was a better way to handle this, but I will also say that I have to talk about it in the present because it doesn't do me any good to posit what I would have done. He would have already been gone.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have fired him after 2-10. I don't know how you keep him after Stanford. I mean, the Stanford loss is pathetic. And it's part and parcel to what we've seen for 2 years now of college football with him. But they didn't. So, all right, at this point, if we're going to operate that every game is some sort of referendum, including this upcoming game, and that the totality of this season and inability to win a road game in 2 effing years isn't a referendum, then okay, by all means, NC State's the biggest game he's ever coached.
I'm all for it.
I mean,
I'm all for it, man.
Crazy.
I'm all for it.
I mean,
I'd rather NC State dictate his future and Florida State's future than Florida, an interim coach. The problem is he loses to NC State. He's 5-6. You're in you're 5-6 trying to get to a bowl, playing an interim coach at Florida. You were just in this spot 4 years ago. The exact same spot.
There's a lot of problems with all of this,
yes,
Corey.
right.
There's a lot of problems with all of it.
I hate the full circle. Yeah. I hate the full circle of it. I hate the optics of it. I'm just like, man, rip it off on Saturday if he loses. And if he wins, and there's a chance they win by 40 points. No,
NC State
looked horrible.
They
probably won't look like that against Florida State.
They're going to look completely different at home, just like Florida State went from losing to Stanford to beating Wake by 40 points. I mean, it's you can't use a week on the road versus what they're going to do at home. So I think NC State's going to play a lot better. Plus, we have to see if these guys can figure out their offense on the road, because it's been a disaster.
Well, this would be the team to figure it out against. Their defense is terrible.
It is. Yeah,
it's terrible at home and on the road.
First time that I can remember under Doran, this is the first time their linebackers have been awful. And that never happens at NC State. They normally have 2 linebackers that I would die for here at Florida State. They don't this year. You watch them play, you go, This is a disaster.
But
So if they don't move the ball against this team, but then again, we said this against
Well, they
Stanford.
moved the ball. That's
say,
not the issue.
Yeah, they moved it. They just couldn't do anything.
They moved the ball between the 20s like no problem.
NC State's defense, this could be a get-right game for them, getting Florida State on the road. And, yeah, man, it's like there's two things going on. One is from a big-picture standpoint, and this is the problem with what they did after Stanford, is if you say you're going to make a decision at the end of the season, well, that's fine, except the way it played out now is that these two games are so magnified. Whether it's just the one game or the two, we'll see. Now, I do think if Florida State looks good and you beat NC State and you wanted – if we're right,
want to keep him.
If you want to keep him,
You're
which
looking
is what,
for any excuse,
which
right
is
now
what we're
it's
all,
pretty obvious.
Which is what we're operating under. If that's the case, and you win this game and you look good, yes, announce it. But don't take the chances on what happens at Florida.
I like you say and look good. You think that matters? If they win 20-19, I think if they're looking for a win, it's not going to matter how it looks.
That's probably fair.
They're looking for any excuse it would appear to keep them.
The problem is, and I laid out in the column yesterday, is if you lose these two games, how can you sell anybody on the idea of coming back at 5-7 after 2-10? That's the problem.
I think they're going to have a hard enough.
And it's really, remember, it's 3-7. That's the issue. It's
don't
3
bring
and
that
7.
up. Don't cloud the issue right
okay,
now.
well, it is. That's
to
the
your
problem.
point, Ira, I think it's a hard enough sell if they win both of them.
Right.
Let alone effing around and losing to that 3-win Florida team.
But as a guy who took some marketing classes, there's stuff you can sell about winning 4 of your last 5 games. There is
that, and there's also, I think there's a legit possibility, and y'all can laugh me out of the room, that his contract gets restructured if he stays. I legitimately think there's a chance that happens.
Well, apparently James Franklin just restructured his buyout to $9 million. Took $40 million off of his buyout.
Yeah, imagine if they say Norvell's coming back at half the price. People would be like, okay, Mike, well, we can do this for another year.
I don't see that.
I sent that snippet to Ira this morning. I knew you had probably already read it, but I was up drinking my coffee when I sent you that paragraph.
And then you just went to whiskey.
I almost did. I went
about Franklin's $9 million.
So wait a minute. We were going to negotiate this from the third highest buyout in history to $9 million. You mean Florida State could have done that and had James Franklin?
Well,
boy, seems like an option.
No, I think the bigger question is why his attorneys are willing to do that. I mean,
because he got another job. That is the difference. Mike wouldn't
Norvell's
get another job.
Probably not on the open market.
Mike is not getting another head coaching job.
Not a Power 5 job.
No,
Power 4
North
job.
Texas maybe.
Right.
And actually, that was kind of my hope in the back of my mind for a while. I was like, could somebody talk North Texas into Mike, and then we work this out?
But North Texas is like in the top 25.
Yeah, but
now.
that coach is Morris will take another job.
Come on, Mike.
I've already
That's
been
his
doing
home.
it.
Okay.
I've been doing this. I've been like, that guy's going to leave. Morris is going to get a job, a better job. Mike, here you go. North Texas is all you, baby boy. Now we work this out. We don't have to spend all this money. You got a gig.
And to the people that are picking up the conversation now, because we talked about it yesterday and they've been talking about it on Wake Up as well. Like, it's not the assumption we're making that they want to keep it and they don't want to write the check is just based on the fact that
they haven't fired him.
And you've painted yourself into a corner now where if he does win these last 2 games, how do you fire him then? Like, if you're really not sure.
Stanford, yeah, I mean, you're going to fire if they won 4 of his last 5 games, including 2 on the road at Gainesville and Raleigh, and then you're going to fire him. Like, that would be, unless you're saying, okay, we've got
well, that's what I wanted to know all along was, did you
candidate.
have something lined up? Were you prepared to make whatever that announcement was, no matter how the season, like, let's say after Stanford, behind the scenes, Peter Collins was like, all right, I've seen enough. We're going to lose too much in the way of emotional and financial investment going into next year if we bring this guy back. So now's the time for the search, and I'm going to conduct this and do whatever he's going to do. If you had it buttoned up, ready to go, then you just let him play it out, I guess, or whatever. Then maybe I would be like, oh, okay, well, they had a plan. But this is tough. This is tough on a fan base because let's say you beat NC State and then you announce that he's coming back and then they lose to Florida.
Who cares?
You lose to that godforsaken. No, who cares? Are the alumni and the fans of this program
No, of course not.
who don't want it to be a joke?
But you're not a joke.
You
it's
are
college
a joke.
football. There's plenty of jokes out there. Florida State is not a joke. They were a playoff team 2 years ago.
Corey,
this current
at the
incarnation.
heels of 2-10, if you go 5-7 and you lose
no,
to that,
that was
or
6
even
and
6.
Well, that's
and
different.
you lose to a 3-win Florida team, you lost to that sorry Clemson team. Man, come on.
But I guess
you just can't take them seriously at this point.
But until next year, and if you're good next year, who cares if you're a joke in the 9 months?
After 2 full seasons and not winning a road game, do you think they're going to be good?
Why do you think like Wisconsin and Maryland haven't made changes?
Because they like being jokes.
No,
I'm curious.
I would tell you that Maryland is not Florida State. I mean,
neither is Wisconsin.
Yeah, they're not going to have the options that Florida State
But
does. And even if they're operating
money.
at peak efficiency, they can't win a championship. Florida State can. What they would be able to attract, this is a top 10 job. Maryland and Wisconsin are far from it.
Yeah, and that is the difference. Especially Maryland has no business.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's a good football school. They're deciding to run it back. I just think in the modern era of college
been
football,
there for 2 years.
Yeah, this might be his third, right?
Well, they're running it back because they just hired him. He's not in year 6
He's
or 7.
not in year 6. I will say this, though. Fickle also doesn't have a 13-0 season under his belt. This guy does. And the point being, I don't think Mike Norvell's a great coach. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that.
Seems self-evident.
Yeah, it seems like he's doing a good job proving that himself. But I also, in the modern era of college football, I don't think he is immune to having good football seasons, and I don't think he's immune to putting together a roster that can compete for an ACC championship next year. He will have the resources. He's not a bumbling idiot. He's not a bumbling idiot. And if he gets a good roster together, and again, it's all on him. All this is his mess. But I'm not thinking that 2026 is just no chance you're going to win if you bring him back. He's just destined to be a abject failure at Florida State because he's proven he can win here. He's also proven he can be the worst coach in history here. Well, Mudra. I guess Mudra's in there too.
Corey, though, I do think the recent evidence, you have to look at the recent evidence. It's the last 2 full seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't keep going back to the one good season where you fell into a generationally talented portal player who goes in the first round and wins Rookie of the Year. Like, you know, he's had more bad seasons than good.
Yeah.
And he's been terrible. Like,
no, I get it, but this
last in the ACC.
But you don't
can't win a road game. Terrible.
You don't think he's as good as like
I'm not
Tony Elliott?
I've always said about all coaches.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
No, but my biggest shift in my attitude towards coaches in the time that I've been on the air in the last 25 plus years is that I used to think that I could look at a situation and say that coach doesn't know what he's doing based on the bad year that he's had. Ever since I realized that they all know the same stuff, it's just whether or not you can teach it and get people to buy into it year over year over year.
Yeah.
I don't think that any of them are idiots.
Yeah.
But either
Except
you're
maybe Mario. Except maybe Mario.
But that guy wins 9-10 games a year.
But my point with you, different people have different strengths. We could highlight all those things. But either you're effective at messaging and getting and convincing kids to buy in and playing hard and playing smart, or you're not. And man, we're seeing 2 years worth of evidence that they're not.
Yeah, and I don't see. This is what it turns into: is that I end up defending Norvell, and I'm not a Norvell defender. I thought the Stanford game should have been the last game he coached at Florida State. I'm on record as saying that, but he's here now. He's still here.
No, I get it. I understand why when we pitch this, sometimes you pitch it. And I'm just telling you that the fans of this program, that they're like, what are you talking about?
I get it, but I would say this. No fans thought that he was about to rip off 19 straight wins after Clemson. The fans' opinions, they matter. The money matters, but it's not reality. You saying that he can't get it back and win games next year, and I'm not saying you, I'm saying the Royal you, doesn't make that true.
Right, but you have to go by 2 years worth of evidence that this is trending poorly, to say the least.
Trending, I mean, hey, baby, they've tripled their wins from last year.
They went into the side of a mountain.
Yeah, now they're slowly they're climbing, my man. They're climbing.
We have to take a break anytime in this hour. We got to take a break at any point.
We do. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in just a moment.
Picture this. It's midnight and you're lying in bed, scrolling through this new website you found, hitting the add to cart button on that item you've been looking for. After 15 minutes, you decide you've done enough damage to your wallet and decide to check out. But you remember that your wallet or credit card is in the living room and you don't want to get out of bed to go get it. Just as you're getting ready to abandon your cart, that's when you see it. That purple shop button. That shop button that has all of your payment and shipping information saved, saving you time while you stay warm in your bed. That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes everything easier, from checkout to creating your own storefront. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names like Mattel and Seminole Headlines to brands just getting started. Shopify gives you that leg up from day one with hundreds of beautiful, ready-to-go templates to express your brand style and forget about all the code. Tackle all those important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics and more. Spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools to find and keep new customers. And did I mention that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already love it. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/warchant. Go to shopify.com/warchant. Shopify.com/warchant.
Or first responder, or even a city or county employee, I've got some great news for you. Florida's Hometown Heroes program can help you buy a home with down payment and closing cost assistance up to $35,000, depending on where you live and work. It's a way to say thank you to the people that keep Florida running, and I'm proud to help local heroes take advantage of it every day. Don't assume you don't qualify. Let's find out together. I'll walk you through the process, show you how to combine these benefits with the right mortgage plan, and help you make that dream of homeownership a reality. Let's get started. You can reach me at 954-369-6171. That's 954-369-6171. I'm Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage, helping our hometown heroes find their way home.
Pay-per-view fights can ring up big bills, especially since in the Octagon, there is one every few weeks. That's why the Seventh Hill Tap Room right downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill carries every single fight. Plus, unlike most pay-per-view bars, there's no cover charge. And drink specials, too, like $3 select domestic beers and more. And if you enjoy international soccer, Seventh Hill opens early. $2 mimosas on Sundays, anyone? The Seventh Hill Tap Room, 2475 Appalachian Parkway, just downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
Searching for the best place to host an event for your friends and family? The Golf Club at Summerbrook is more than just a place for a round of golf. It's also one of the best choices for hosting and celebrating the most special days in your life. From rehearsal dinners and baby showers to corporate banquets and kids' birthday parties, you'll receive amazing personal service and attention to every detail when you choose the Golf Club at Summerbrook. Find out how affordable it can be and call us today at 850-894-GOLF. That's 850-894-GOLF.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Just out of curiosity, do we think they win on Friday night?
Yeah, I was going through that a little bit last night, just thinking through it through myself, because I was kind of going at it from the scenario of what they would, because last week when we had this conversation, I think we both laughed at Corey when he brought up the idea of them winning 3 straight. I do think there's a chance.
I'm going to get the last laugh on that one, gang.
And Florida State is favored in this game.
5.5. What in the world?
NC State's defense is awful.
But
I mean, Florida State on the road offensively is awful.
It's hard to predict that Florida State's going to win this game.
They're playing on the road. Who would ever predict that?
It's weird. As down as I am and as much as I desperately would like a change, I think they might win. I do. I feel pretty good that they will. I think this NC State team looked like a team that – I know Miami's a lot better than Florida State, but that team, they didn't look like they cared to be playing much football
But it's different when you go on the road and you know you're going to get a butt kicking.
It is.
Versus when you know you're at home
playing senior night.
A team you think you can beat.
Yeah. They should not have felt like they were going to get a butt kicking. Miami hasn't played well as of late. They haven't looked great. It's a nothing atmosphere down in Miami. Half the stadium's empty. So it's
a proud tradition down
there's
there.
no reason they should have thought, we're going to get our ass kicked. If anything, they should have thought, man, keep it close for a quarter. They'll wilt. Right. And, they weren't competitive. So I wonder where their head's at. Obviously, this team coming off a lopsided win likely feels decent about itself. To your all's point, that's the best Tommy's looked since going back to the Alabama game.
Running.
If he's that guy, well, he's never been a good passer, but if he's
that guy. But he's made some nice throws. He's getting more and more
would make some nice throws. But I do think that he's got to have a little bit of confidence because he knows he can get out of the way. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. It kind of points to them winning the game. I can see why they're favored, frankly.
We talked to Gus Malzahn and Tony White today, the coordinator interviews. We usually do them on Sundays, but they did them on Tuesday this week because of the short week. And, we asked them, and I also asked Norvell yesterday about why they haven't played well on the road and try to frame it a different way. Like, you've been around good teams before that have won on the road. Like, what do those teams do that this team can learn from? And every single one of them mentioned the same thing, which is just, man, being confident, going with confidence, not freaking out when things go poorly.
Yeah.
Just kind of staying in the moment, playing the game. Well, that is the head coach's job. Like, that is all on Mike Norvell. So if you can't go on the road again and play well,
what was Mike's answer? Was that
the
coordinator's answer? What was Mike's answer?
Along the same lines, he said, just, he didn't say that, what he said was that it's your, not letting things snowball, not letting one play lead to another bad play.
Yeah. One loss leading to another loss, leading to another loss.
And so they said they're going to change some of the things they do going into the week. In terms of he mentioned even like the drive to the stadium, like where you stay and how long of a drive you have. He mentioned at Stanford, or he mentioned one game, and I think that might've been,
he said they say it's like an hour bus ride.
Yeah. And I think that was not that game.
But who cares?
Yeah. Anyway,
who cares?
I'm sure they've tried it a lot of different
That might have
ways.
been Virginia.
Why don't you just sleep at the stadium?
Yeah.
Thursday night they could sleep there.
Go with not practicing this week.
Try anything.
Just something different.
You've been practicing your ass off for years. It hasn't made any difference.
Not any difference.
So, but no, I think it all comes down to that. I'm more interested in what the coordinators say, because I think they're answering it as honestly as possible. Mike's always going to mince words, try to figure out the right lane to hit. But they just both talked about how you need to be not go with the weight of the world on your shoulders. And I think that we've seen that in this team at times, in Virginia late in the game, and just playing for the big play, trying to kind of deliver the knockout blow and just play the game. But if they can't do that again, that just points to the head coach. So while it seems crazy to say one game can determine it, that would be a big piece of information to know, that you could not get your team to compete on the road for 2 straight years.
Yeah. And there's always an excuse, right? Like Stanford, you played past their bedtime. Literally probably past some of your kids' bedtimes. Virginia, good team early in the season. Your defense didn't play well. Your offense did. A couple of mistakes. Miami, blah. There's always an excuse for the losses, but eventually enough. That's what I think. That's where a lot of people have reached that. That's where a lot of. But it would be weird. And again, this is an enormous if you follow up 2-10 with 7-5, maybe 8-5. In all the statistical measurements, the efficiency ratings have you as one of the top 20 to 25 teams in the country after last year being 100th. To say, well, we're going to fire you anyway. That doesn't compute logically. Like, you have made an improvement. You have gotten better. They gave you the resources and the product was better. It's not good enough. It's not what Florida State needs. The question is, can this guy get it to where it needs to be?
Well, and the through line would be for people to say, no, he never recruits well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't suspect that's going to.
Now, you do have a little more data this year with some of these true freshmen. They are better than he's ever brought in. It's this staff.
Well, it's funny, though, because when you were talking earlier about Norvell and he's not a bumbling idiot, I was thinking to myself, there are head coaches that awful time management. Pat Narduzzi's a guy that's made a lot of bad decisions on 4th down math, different things.
Mario Cristobal's
the poster child for that.
number one.
But there are other coaches like that. Norvell has been too aggressive at times, but I wouldn't say he's an incompetent game day coach. I don't believe that.
No.
Now, the flip side, though, is, and I thought to myself, okay, well, if you took Mario's roster and gave that to Norvell, what would he do with it? But the problem is Mike Norvell has proven he can't get Mario's roster.
Yeah,
now, part of that is the NIL, and then Miami has made it clear they'll spend whatever they have to spend on a quarterback. Florida State has not made that commitment.
By the way, Kenny's quarterback is apparently going to be in the portal, the Sam Levitt kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep.
So on the flip side, you could say, okay, well, you've got to get much better recruiting, whoever the head coach is going to be, but also get in the market for the big time quarterback. That position, Coach Henshaw, we had a Henshaw's house up on the website today. And he said, look, man, look at the top 4 teams in the ACC. They all have quarterbacks. You have to have a quarterback. And he made a joke about in his career coaching, when they had quarterbacks, they all got raises and extensions. And when they didn't have a good quarterback, they got fired. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And Florida State has not been willing to say, yeah, man, we're all in on a quarterback. And that's how you get DJ Uyunglele. And that's probably how you get Tommy Castellano.
Well, but
now
also
they've spent, but not.
Who's out there? Like, who do you want?
I don't know, man.
Go look at the list of go look at transfers from the last 2 years. Mike could have had several that have gone to other places that have played very well for half the cost of the Miami quarterbacks. There are guys out there making $700,000 to $1 million, $700,000 to $1 million, which is what Tommy's making, and they're way better than Tommy. He chose Tommy because he wanted to run this system.
Well,
that's on Mike.
He and Gus, that marriage.
That's on them. They could have had another quarterback. He hasn't exactly lit it on fire evaluating quarterbacks either out of high school.
That's one way to describe it.
So that's on him. That's not like, oh, we won't give you $4 million. Yeah, maybe we won't pay somebody $4 million, but you could have had one of these guys that's, hell, you had a couple people. You could have had Altmaier, for Christ's sake.
No, I get just specifically with Mario.
Yeah,
that situation is different. You can't really compare them. They're not apples to apples because Miami will spend whatever they have to spend to get the best free agent quarterback on the market.
They also recruit offensive and defensive line like their hair's on fire because they know it's essential to winning.
So what does Norvell make? He makes $10 million a year. Cuts it in half next year, and the half that he gives back to Florida State goes to a quarterback.
Break. It's a short segment because we went so long the first one. I want you to call Mike, ask him if he'll give back half his salary
just for next year. He did it already, and for a quarterback, it goes to the quarterback.
He did it already.
Come on, that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. He cares about the Noles.
Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Continues in a moment.
Your local news now.
Organizers for the local wreaths across America say they still need the community's help to ensure every late service member in our area is recognized this year. Right now, they still need sponsors for 694 wreaths. Each wreath costs $17. For more information on how to sponsor a wreath, go to their website, wreathsacrossamerica.org. The deadline to sponsor a wreath is December 1st. An Amazon delivery truck burst into flames on the shoulder of Interstate 10 near mile marker 198 Monday evening, slowing traffic and creating a dramatic fiery scene for passing drivers. The driver saw the vehicle start to smolder and pulled off to the side of the interstate. He was able to escape the vehicle before it became fully engulfed in flames. The cause of the fire remains unclear. The intense fire forced the closure of the middle and outside lanes of I-10 West as firefighters worked to get the blaze under control. This is a developing story. This is Rachel Linnea with Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Ample sunshine expected this afternoon. Daytime highs approaching 79. Winds out of the south around 5 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 53 tonight. Clear skies develop with fog at times. Highs level off around 83 with fog in spots. Early tomorrow, bright sunshine expected. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently 76.
This time of year, we enjoy spending time outdoors in this beautiful North Florida climate until the mosquito attack begins.
Paul's Termite Pest Control can help you take your yard back. We have an affordable program to help keep mosquitoes away, and our program even helps with other pests like ticks.
Mosquitoes are a nuisance to you, and by carrying diseases such as heartworms, they can be harmful to your pets.
Learn more about how Paul's can help protect you, your family, and your pets from mosquitoes. For the elimination of termites, pests like mosquitoes,
and a greener lawn too,
call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Do you want to take your yard back by having a green and pest-free lawn?
At Paul's, we understand the unique needs of your North Florida lawn, which is why we developed a program to address those concerns.
Our treatment program includes inspection, treatment, and education on best practices for optimized results while remaining environmentally conscious. An added benefit is that our lawn treatment is flea suppression, so having a greener lawn can help protect your pets too. For a greener lawn and the elimination of fleas too,
call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Rolling on, and we could do so with an ice cold Tavello if it were FCC legal.
Hey, there might have been a super chat.
I'll get
when you get to it. Yeah,
I think there's 3 of them.
I actually spent some time with Maurice and Lynn this weekend. They were at the game on Saturday.
Good luck charms.
Went over to the sponsor tent because they sell Tavello at Joe Campbell Stadium.
Damn
now.
Sure do.
So got to hang out with them a little bit, and which is always great. And then I didn't even realize it at the time though. Lynn, the next day, she put on Instagram that it was their anniversary from their wedding when they got married at a Florida State football game.
How were you supposed to know that?
I should have known.
I mean,
that's
a bit much.
Why would that be in your notes?
It would be a little strange if you did know it.
By the way, guys,
is it tomorrow y'all's anniversary?
Tomorrow's your anniversary, right? I've been doing some checking.
They're driving home, and Maurice is like,
why did I know that? He was not at our wedding.
Why is he so invested in us?
All that long?
Next time I go to Tabello, which could be soon, I'm going to go. Maybe I'll make it up to him. But go to Tabello. It's in South Georgia in Thomasville, right up the road from Tallahassee. I mean, you're talking. It's basically a suburb of Tallahassee now, and they have a tap room there with a nice patio that overlooks a green space where sometimes they'll have music on the weekends. All the different varieties of beers at Doak Campbell Stadium this year. They only had the IPA. But if you go to the tap room, you can have all the different varieties. And they're also getting out into the community now. There's a bunch of restaurants in Thomasville, and soon more restaurants in Tallahassee will be serving Tabello as well. So
and then it takes over the nation.
Try it out. Test it out. You don't have to make the drive up there. But check out Tabello. They have a bunch of different varieties, and they're all delicious. Every single one I've had is delicious. I haven't tried the stout because I'm not going to.
Stouts are delicious. You've had Guinness. It is a stout.
Yeah. Well, the Guinness over there is fine. The Guinness over here was not so much.
I'll get you some Guinness here that you like.
No, thanks.
No, there's
awful.
A bunch of different kinds.
Swill.
No, it's delicious. You should try Tabello stout. I have a feeling it's delicious.
Probably is. You should. Sorry, Maurice and Lynn.
Maurice, I'll get her to try the stout. It's a gorgeous weekend. Are you driving to Raleigh? You flying to Raleigh?
I am driving. I was going to fly.
Yeah, why don't you fly? 9-hour drive?
I was going to fly, but the problem is I don't want to fly the day of the game.
Which is Friday, yeah.
What's going on with the airlines right now.
Yeah.
And then I didn't want to fly the day before and then just have a day and a half to hang out in Raleigh.
Well, it's a cool place. You got the triangle.
In the Raleigh?
Yeah, Chapel Hill, dude.
I don't like going on the road by myself.
You could also maybe maybe there's a basketball game, local basketball game you could have gone to.
Corey, I know you're not flying to Raleigh. Are you driving to Raleigh?
Yeah. I am driving. Yep.
So, I'm going to drive up and
but you're going to do the Atlanta stop first. Yeah. I see how this goes.
He'll be in Atlanta. I'm not going that way. I'm going 95.
Yeah, you're just doing 9 hours.
But I think I may stop a couple hours short. And then just kind of leave myself a little jaunt into the city on Saturday. Then after the game,
Friday. City are you stopping in on your way there?
Maybe Fayetteville. Thinking Fayetteville.
Okay,
just an hour, a little over an hour. And then after the game, I'll have that drive back.
You have a little side piece in Fayetteville?
I mean, you got to bring that up. You got to put my business on Front Street.
Wouldn't that be something?
You got to bring that up.
You did have one, and he just blew up your spot.
All of a sudden, he's sweating.
Yeah, he's like, oh, God,
why would you think that?
In every area code.
Yeah.
But no, and so it'll shorten the drive back on Saturday.
Oh, that's true.
So, no, I'm looking forward to it.
That's
true.
true.
Time with myself and my thoughts about Mike Norvell.
Oh, I think you've thought plenty. I think we've all thought more than we need to be thinking about Mike Norvell. And I have a feeling we'll be thinking about him in the offseason, in the spring. That'll be a tough sell.
The tough sell is like the how much he loves the team and the response they showed in spring. Like from one day to another, nobody's going to care about any of that. It's going to be tough to write about.
There'll be not a word that he can say.
Yeah, but if he does have like the Mensa kid at quarterback, nobody cares. Like literally, people will be excited about that. If Deuce is out there catching passes and Pittman's back and Danzy's back and you get some big-time college quarterback to come into this system, I think people will be buoyed by that. I really do. I think that's how football works.
It's so infuriating that position's so hard to evaluate because nobody wanted Pitt.
It's not this hard.
The kid at Pitt, literally, Narduzzi turned him down over and over and over, and I think somebody backed out. And so then he just went to his OC, and the guy's like, man, we should take this kid. So they take him.
That guy deserves a raise. Whoever the guy is that walked in.
Kerwin Bell's kid.
Well, he needs to walk in and say to Narduzzi, I saved your ass.
I mean, 100%.
I mean, because this kid's a stud.
But I'm sure Cade Bell misses on other quarterbacks. It's just, it is so amazing. Like Cam Ward starting his career incarnate Word.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it is such an inexact science, but man, you've got to figure it out. And if you don't have the right one, you got to figure that out pretty quickly and get them out. Because
the problem is I don't like Mike evaluating the quarterbacks because he's failing miserably.
But here's a perfect example. Look at Virginia Tech. When they played Kyle Drones, is that his first name?
Mm-hmm. No, Kyron, I think.
Kyron.
Yeah.
When they played him 3 years ago, I was like, man, this guy might be a problem next year.
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude, and he can really run.
Can't throw.
And you assume that maybe that'll get better.
You hope.
Yeah. And it just has not gotten better at all. So they've lost, it's 3 straight years now that kid's been the starting quarterback for a team that just doesn't get any better. And now your head coach got fired. And so to me, it's not just missing, but when you stick with a quarterback for a long time, it would be like Listen, it'd be like bringing Tommy back next year, and he doesn't get any better. It's like, well, why would you do that?
You wouldn't. I wouldn't. Period. I would be moving on. I would find somebody else to run this system. Listen, I don't know if you guys have heard that. There is a weird rumor out there. It's not a weird rumor. There's a rumor out there that Gus wants to retire. If he does, this does get to be an interesting offseason because even if Mike's coming back, you would ask two questions. A, is he going to take back over the play calling?
Oh, geez.
Which would
be
wither
great.
and fall to the ground.
Yes.
But you just got done saying that
I
he's
wouldn't
great.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
You said he's great. He's not a bumbling idiot. There's nothing.
Well, that's different than saying he's great.
No, you love him.
See, that's how it works on this
Go back to
show.
that undefeated season, buddy. What
That's
happened?
how it works
all
on
of a
this
sudden,
show.
we've lost all faith. I don't know what for. What's the evidence for losing faith?
Again.
Well, and then the system, because the challenge with the system is you just spent a year learning this system, the terminology in this system. Even if you're bringing back a lot of these guys on offense who we do like a lot of these skill players on offense. If you bring in a different coordinator, if Gus does step away or step down or take a different job, whatever it is, and then you bring in a new system, now you're having to have all of these guys readjust again to a new system, which is not
What
ideal.
if you brought in Hartline as a head coach in waiting? Would he do it? Would he do it?
You just further usurp Mike and just you don't really do anything at all ever, sir. But we can't fire you.
We're
so you're
waiting
a
until the
head coach and waiting until we fire you.
Head coach and waiting till the buyout gets a little less crazy. Waiting in the cut. But man. That's man. Like if he beats NC State, I'm like, whatever, man. Fine, bring it back, but bring it all back because I don't trust this coach, which is a problem, to go make a good offensive coordinator hire. And the reason this team is even somewhat competitive is because
what's that based on?
What do you mean?
That not trusting him to hire an offensive coordinator.
Well, I mean,
he hired Kenny. He gave Kenny basically his start, and worked out all right.
I guess the 2024 season happened. That was on his watch. I know. That's what. He hired Alex Atkins. He thought that was the best move for his program.
I think that was to keep Alex Atkins because at the time everybody felt like he was the linchpin.
Well, that was
offensive
dumb
line.
too.
I am with you. I'm not saying that Mike Norvell has not made bad decisions.
You don't have
I'm just
to
saying
go
I
over
don't
this.
know why that specific decision.
No, but
what I was going to say is you don't have to search with a fine-tooth comb to find dumb decisions, Corey. They're bountiful.
But I would have I do have a certain confidence that if Gus came back with Herb Hand, this offense would be good again next year. Again, maybe not the best in the country. Jeff hates it, but it has been much, much better. It is a good grown-up offense that gets points and yards most of the time. I don't want a wild card not knowing who the next OC is. You're going to bring in another offensive coordinator after we just tried to save your job with this one?
Well, he may not have a choice.
But, I mean, the guy retires. Yeah. What are you going to do?
Unretire.
No.
Okay. You tell him.
Gus on to stick around.
That's how it works.
No, I'm not doing that. I hope.
I guess you'd save money because Gus, you wouldn't owe Gus whatever you'd owe him in a buyout. But then Tony leaves too, so you're going to keep the guy that had really nothing to do.
Where's Tony going?
If he leaves, I'm just saying he might just want to go back to the West Coast.
I don't feel like this season has been I don't think he's rising on hot boards.
Are you kidding? How many touchdowns Virginia Tech score? Just two.
Wake didn't do a damn thing either.
Wake didn't do anything.
Tony's star is rocketing.
Clemson only got 2 touchdowns. Now Miami only had 4. They happened in great succession really early on.
No, I'm not for bringing any of them back.
Yes, but if you're going to bring Norvell back, I think the selling point is you bring all of it back and see what happens.
A selling point.
I'm not selling anything. We're enduring.
Okay.
That's what we're doing. We're enduring another year.
If you're keeping Mike Norvell, a big part of it is obviously
the money.
Buyout.
It's the money.
And it's not that you can't, and again, I keep trying to clarify this. It's not that they can. It's just, do you want to based on what's available in the open market?
Yeah.
And the concerns about what you can get. Is it worth that investment based on what you can get? And that's the information that we don't have.
Did they fancy Franklin at all?
I don't get the
Must
sense
not
they did.
have, right?
I think it was very clear to them early on that he was interested. And I don't think they were.
That's the sense I get as well. They didn't want him because if they did, they could have had him.
Yeah.
They could have had him for a little cheaper than they realized.
Why would you want James Franklin though?
Just winning 10 games.
Yeah. Why would you want that?
Yeah. No.
He's not as fun to watch as Norvell.
Hour number 2, headliner questions headed your way. Hang in. Jeff Cameron Show is not on the air right now. It's Seminole Headlines that's on the air. Boy, that was a terrible gaffe, but I caught it just in time.
On the front door, the city of the world. It's Matt Breakfast with America in View.
Matt, Florida has become the world's biggest freedom, and I love being in the studio every week. We are reinforcing the conservative movement with truth, the Constitution, and a little redneck common sense. We're waking the woke.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Talk will always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Barano Heating and Air Conditioning.
Water is your home's worst enemy. It finds cracks, soft spots, and weaknesses. But not on our watch. At Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing, we're veteran-owned and built different, driven by detail and the pursuit of excellence. We install seamless gutters, underground drainage, and waterproofing systems that don't fail. Because when you live with discipline, water doesn't stand a chance. Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing. Visit guttersolutions.net. With us, it's personal. A roof isn't decoration. It's your home's first line of defense. At GSWP Roofing, we treat every build like it's mission critical. We're GAF Master Elite certified, led by a former Marine. And we don't cut corners. We execute with discipline, precision, and materials that hold the line. Storm after storm, year after year. Repairs, replacements, full installs. This is roofing done by the book. No excuses, no shortcuts. GSWP Roofing. Online at gswproofing.com. With us, you're covered.
License number CCC 1335048.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee. This is Real Talk 93.3. You're listening to Seminole Headlines with Ira, Corey, and Jeff. Stay tuned for more headlines coming up next. Your sports action update on Real Talk 93.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas.
Florida State basketball at the Tucker Center against UT Martin today. The Seminoles are the 22.5-point favorite, 162.5 the total. Jacksonville plus 14.5 at George Mason, 135.5 the total. Tampa Bay Lightning $1.70 home ice favorite against the New Jersey Devils, 5.5 over the total. Friday night, Florida State laying 4.5 at NC State of the ACC. Saturday in Gainesville, Tennessee, a 3-point favorite over Florida, 57.5 the total in the Swamp. Jacksonville Jaguars coming off that win over the Chargers at home. Head to Arizona as 2.5-point favorites, 47.5 the total. Score $500 in rewards at the G-Bank First Bet VSiN Trifecta. Details at vsin.com/GBank. For more sports betting news and information, go to vsin.com. Mike Son at Real Talk 93.3.
Kohl's has 20% off gifts that are so good, your family might think you read their minds. Check off your list now with cozy, thoughtful, and stylish gifts that will make them say, oh, how did you know? Yep, with these presents from Kohl's, you're going to leave them feeling impressed and convinced that you're a psychic. Shop Kohl's for an extra 20% off gifts that are the perfect fit. Select styles. Offer ends November 22nd. Some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
Whether it's morning routines or weekends on the sidelines when the temperature drops, America brings the heat with Hot Hands. Hot Hands are America's favorite hand, toe, neck, and even body warmers to help you stay warm and cozy from head to toe. Hot Hands are fast acting, they're long lasting, and they are made right here in the USA. Look for the Hot Hands logo and the bright orange packages at your favorite store or online, and keep doing what you love out there with Hot Hands, warming up America coast to coast.
What makes Paul's Termite and Pest Control the best in North Florida?
It's our core values, of course, and they happen to spell Paul's.
P, protecting you and your pets from pests and your property from termites.
A, accept personal responsibility. At Paul's, we realize it's up to us to get things right and strive to do more than's expected.
U, uphold company values. Those values include treating others with respect and understanding we represent Paul's Pest Control on and off the clock.
L, look the part. As representatives of this great company, we will always make sure that our image matches the character of Paul's.
S, support the team. Every job we do is a total team effort to create a supportive workplace.
P, protecting you, your pets, and your property. A, accept personal responsibility. U, uphold company values. L, look the part. S, support the team. Paul's core values. They make us the best.
For the elimination of termites and other pests.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Love to compete on the dartboard? Then it's time to head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is Tallahassee's premier dart bar, featuring steel tip boards and soft tip internet play. The Corner Pocket hosts leagues and tournaments regularly. Just check out their social media to find a time that works for you. And in between games, grab a pint and a bite in the cool AC, or enjoy yourself outside on the deck. Whether you want to catch a game or start one of your own, the place to be is the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
It's time for Seminole Headlines, featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
Hour number 2, Seminole Headlines underway. Headliner questions coming your way momentarily, thanks to our friends at Dr. Birch. Birch Orthodontics is really what I should have said. We thank Dr. Birch at Birch Orthodontics. Yeah. Best in the business.
Thank her kindly.
Oh yeah.
And listen, we're not going to peer pressure.
Does she have a promo code?
She does not do a promo code. She doesn't, her promo code is just being open. Like that's her
gift.
gift
that's all she needs
to the community of Tallahassee. But listen, we got to have a tough conversation sometimes with parents about their kids and their kids' teeth.
You do.
Sometimes you we need a little help. Everybody needs help sometimes, whether it's maybe somebody just, they need to live their life better. They need to get a better job. They need to start eating better. We have to have these tough conversations. Sometimes your kid's teeth, they're just not working.
They're jacked up. I told my kid when he was young, he got alien teeth.
Sometimes you just gotta realize that, hey, that maybe that's the way God intended it, but
not really.
Sometimes you need help.
Fix them.
If you smile and people jump back, it's time to go to Dr. Birch. That should be your slogan.
And there's also, I think there's actually medical reasons and health reasons why sometimes you need orthodontic work as well. So go to birchorthodontics.com is the website. They'll set up a free consultation, no pressure. That's the thing. There's no pressure when you go there. They're just there to help you. Good people. They have payment plans set up for you, and they do all the best work with the latest techniques and procedures. And then Dr. Birch, at the end of the day, is a great part of this community, gives back constantly to local schools and teachers and helps the community. So you're literally giving back to Tallahassee when you send your kids to Dr. Birch.
I've been thinking, shouldn't we do this ad read at 1/2 Because do you know a dentist's favorite time? 2:30.
2:30. That's a good one.
2:30.
That's a good one.
I guess she's not a dentist though.
I was
She's
afraid we were going there.
2:30.
I was going to see if you finished it out.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, he did.
Just say it, Dr. Birch. Maybe next week we'll do a 2:30 ad read.
Christian John writes, is it just me or do we look like the Megatron Georgia Tech offense? One dominant receiver and a team determined to run. A little bit like it.
Yeah, that's good.
It's very
Well,
similar. Yeah, very similar. Robert writes, I have two questions. If Mike makes it to the next year, what does the record have to look like for him not to be fired next year?
Who knows?
Also, also, if and when Mike is fired, does Alfred make that decision?
Well, it would be a group decision, I would think. It's not his solely to make, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Unlike the Dallas Mavericks, who apparently their GM was like, I'm just going to trade Luka.
Yeah, screw it.
I'm trading Luka. Do y'all care?
That the
Y'all don't care, do you?
Screw
We're going
it.
to get Anthony Davis. He's going to be hurt immediately.
Yeah, I think the change in the way college athletics works is very different from 10, 15, 20 years ago. Back in the day, ADs did have pretty much final say in a lot of decisions. They don't anymore. Presidents and trustees, members, sometimes governors, sometimes secretaries of state
from Mississippi,
in these other areas, they're going to get involved as well. And so that the idea of the AD just making a unilateral decision, so you'll see people roll Michael Alford or roll Peter Collins or roll the President McCullough. It's a group of people that make the decisions, and there's a lot of money here, and I don't, just back to the whole topic, we've had a lot of people come at us and say, well, you guys said he was going to get fired after Stanford. And no, that was what some people said should happen. Like, we were never saying this is going, if he loses Stanford,
it's not like, but it's not like somebody told us, hey,
No.
he better beat Stanford. He's gone.
Exactly.
We didn't think that. It's just like common sense thought.
Well, that's what you guys thought should happen.
Yes.
And maybe it should have happened, but it didn't happen. And now, again, like what I wrote yesterday, is more reporting just with common sense and based on what limited knowledge I have, they clearly don't want to fire him. And
because
so
they surely would have done it by now.
They
He's
don't
giving
want
them
to spend that
every
money
reason to do it.
based on what's available in the market. Now that can make everybody infuriated.
Yeah.
But
they'll be celebrating when he's hoisting the trophy next year, though. So you can be infuriated now.
I do think it's important, seriously, that you continue to reiterate the point. You're not saying you think he should be employed currently. Right. And at some point, you just move on because they didn't fire him, so you have to talk about it in the now. Like, he's here. What are the circumstances by which they would fire him, do we think? I mean, I would have already done it.
And I will say this.
You would have?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I will say this. If he is going to come back, if that's the decision they're making, and if, say, they win this weekend and they decide this is man, they really, 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 no matter what happens with the coordinators, whether they stay or go, they really need to, a task force, sit down with Mike and their staff and the people that they trust that have run businesses. They've got they're trustees that have run corporations that, huge organizations. Tap into all of that, get a group together and help provide resources to evaluate what you're doing and why it doesn't work. Why does the recruiting not work?
Let me ask
what
you.
What do other schools do? And why is it not working for you? Because I just don't think you can just rely on him to just figure it out.
No, I think pretty clearly they can't.
Kind of made that.
Isn't that what they just did?
Well, I don't know that they did
said
that.
That's what they were going to do.
Oh, no. That's
after 2 and 10.
No, I know. Oh, well, no. They just
they
went and
got him coaches.
Coordinators.
Yeah, but he's saying
I'm saying the whole operation.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they didn't take the time after 2 and 10. They just said, I'll throw 2 new coordinators.
Well, I mean, they made a few changes in the recruiting staff, but not a ton.
How are they doing recruiting? What's their rank?
They're like 14th in the country. They've got a ton of recruits, a ton of commitments. They just got actually a pretty highly thought of junior college defensive end yesterday. They're probably going to get another flip. I mean, Michael put in an RPM pick, and I think some other people are, for them to flip a running back, Mari Thomas from Bluntstown, who was committed to FSU, flipped to South Carolina. Things don't look great in South Carolina. I don't know if you guys have mentioned.
Tough second half.
The talk is he's going to flip back to 4-star running back. So, yeah, they're not doing bad in recruiting. They did lose a few commits a couple weeks ago.
They did.
But, they'll be back on board. The class is not falling apart. But, again, clearly you're not operating well. This is not a highly functioning operating system.
No.
So just assuming, and Mike Norvell loves to say he knows what it looks like. Well, that's great, but can you make it that? Can you make that happen? I know what a great meal looks like. I can't make it. That's what, I just think that if you're gonna run it back, if you're gonna stick with this, man, you got to really make sure that you're doing things to help him out even more. And you listen, man. Tom said last night. So now we're propping him up. Well, you can look at it however you want. It's protecting an investment. This is your investment.
It's a lot of money.
No, I do. Yeah. But I get it. If you're hearing that, you're going. So wait a minute. Last year, after going 2-10, we stripped him he stripped himself of calling plays, which is his supposed expertise, right? And he had somebody else come in to do that. They hired a new defense coordinator, brought in some other coaches, and we want to strip his duties even more while paying him $10 million a year. It's a tough pill to swallow.
Well, whatever
you're
it
propping
takes.
him up. You're propping him up is what you're doing, and
you're protecting an investment.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. It's one way.
You're gonna because it's the buyout's not going to $10 million next year.
I should be so
it's
lucky
gonna be
to fail
$50 million next year.
To the tune of.
If you had a $60 million buyout, you'd be in that position.
Man,
if the radio station had to, or whoever you're working for at the time was committed to you at that level, man, they'd try to do whatever they can to help you out. Just like an actor,
over and over again.
Just like an actor that makes a lot of money that might need some help.
Well, it's like a
counseling
script. It's like a script. It's more like I was thinking more like a script that for a Marvel movie that's not any good, and they get all these script doctors to come in and try to fix it because the investment's too much to let it fail. And that's kind of where you are. But then it's also I thought we hired you to write the script. That's why we paid you all that money.
A different writer here.
But so then do you make a change based on principle?
No. I get you, man. Well, maybe. We'll see. Hey, beat NC State, Mike. We don't have to worry about it.
Scott writes, it occurred to me last week that it is possible to climb down. You don't always have to be climbing up. Maybe 3-star Mike was being straight with us all along.
Well, you can climb both ways. You can climb both ways.
Climbing down.
Climbing isn't always,
climbing back down. Climb down. Yay, sausage, Amara writes, and good day, gents. Pretty clear the play is about bowl eligibility. If this team hits 6 wins, Mike's a lock. At some point, our discussion has to flip from when to and what now. The best of course of action is incrementally diminish Mike Norvell's influence on the program. Let's bring in a general manager to oversee all aspects of talent acquisition. Mike can focus on jogging to practice and winning some wind sprints from time to time. I'm with you.
You're getting the sense of the fans.
No, but I'm with you on the belittling of Mike. I'm with you. We should do more of it.
We'll wait until he gets to 7-5, though. He should be up for improved coach of the year.
You know what's interesting about that, though? When we have these conversations, I know you guys do it too. When you go on shows in other markets, and people would ask, "What's it going to take for Mike Norvell to stay next year?" And the answer I gave everybody was, if he goes 8-4, people will be happy. Like you're going to be pretty happy with that. Almost no matter how it plays out, coming off at 2-10. If you're 7-5, I think it's dicey. I don't really know what's going to happen. If you're 6-6, I think you'd probably have to make a change. The goalposts haven't changed that much. I'm still kind of right around there. Like, I'm not sure 6-6 right now.
That's the one thing that's changed. You don't think they're going to fire him if he goes 6-6? I
don't know for sure. I think it's still a tough call. That's why I wrote my thing, was I still think it's still a tough call. 5-7, I think they probably need to go ahead and do it. 7-5, I think they're at this point you're in with him.
And again, reiterating, we think he should have already been fired. So it's not that. We're just talking about what hasn't happened.
We're just evaluating what we're seeing right now.
You guys are way too results oriented.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm more the process oriented. I like where this program's heading.
People believe you right now, and they're throwing their stuffs at the.
Oh well,
John writes.
I laid on the sarcasm pretty thick, I thought.
Yeah, not everybody gets sarcasm. It's
true.
Tough. I found that out over the years. John writes, good afternoon, sausage kings and purveyors of beautiful teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Was listening to the wildly popular Jeff Cameron Show weekdays 3 to 6. No, I've stopped.
3 to 6. You weren't listening at all.
No, not at all. 1 to 4 is when I'm on, but you were listening because you talked to me. You're talking about what I brought up yesterday with Oklahoma do the NFL-like model. Did you look at what Oklahoma did in the offseason?
I heard you talking about it.
And that's actually worth all of our listeners to go look at.
I'm all for it.
It was really cool what they did, and they really are operating more like an NFL model. They treat the transfer portal like free agency.
Yeah.
They look at high school recruiting like the draft. They have 10 different scouts in their analyzing talent development and player scouts like you have with an NFL franchise. They're telling the coach, Venables, look, you're really good at coordinating the defense. Go coordinate a defense.
Yeah.
Just go.
They're propping him up.
We're going to give you players.
They're propping him up.
But he's doing something.
He's doing something
Mike
on that
doesn't
side
do a
ball.
damn thing.
He's doing something on that side of the ball.
And Brent's not going 2-10. He just beat Alabama at Bama.
And they're going to get it was not a great start to his tenure.
Second year in a row, he's beat Alabama, just like Norvell will next year.
Yeah, no, not a great start to his tenure, but he's not trending the wrong direction in year 6. But yeah, so this is.
But that's my point, though.
I love the idea, I do.
And that was what I was saying. Was it wasn't to prop up Mike Norvell to do all those things. It's trying to get with the reality of where this sport is. It is asinine that the sport has changed so much in these last 4 years, but we're still operating like, oh yeah, just hire a head coach and that fixes everything. The hell it does. This is a different sport.
It's crazy the Kiffin stuff too. Like it's just crazy the whole all of it. That Ole Miss is giving him an ultimatum. He says that's not true, but who knows? Like they don't want to be hung out at the altar if they make the playoff and they haven't prepared. We still have to recruit. You still have kids coming in. We still have the signing period. They're saying, look, are you staying or going? We got to know. Well, so he's saying that's not true, but 2 of those 3 schools, Ole Miss, LSU, or Florida, are not going to have a head coach in December.
It's crazy.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
Well, that's if you put all your eggs in one basket to get that guy, right? And I still think that there's a real good chance he stays at Ole Miss.
It's possible. But again, my point is it can't just be about head coaches anymore.
Yeah, it can't.
No, of course not. No.
And to your point, what Oklahoma's doing, and Coach Henshaw, again, Henshaw's House, read it at warchant.com if you're a subscriber. He said this, I swear it was 3 years ago. He said the way the NFL works, the NFL personnel departments work is you have the college scouting department, then you have the free agent scouting department.
Correct.
And so they're working independently constantly on evaluating players on other teams that are not even free agents yet or possibly trade prospects that you want to see. So they need to be operating like that at the college level. And if you're just hoping that a head coach has all the answers, whether it's Mike Norvell or whoever, Bill Belichick, that's not the answer anymore. You got to modernize. So that was my point. Whatever they're going to do, they need to modernize the approach, I believe.
Let's see if they do. Is that something you're hearing rumors of?
No, not at all. I hope it does. I still think they're just
maybe people are listening. The people that matter listen to this right now. Ira.
Get it done, guys. Get it done.
Brandon wants to know why our athletic director is so effing bad at negotiations. I don't understand why Virginia Tech is paying Franklin a huge contract, allowing Penn State to save $40 million. Couldn't they have just paid him a small amount and left PSU on the hook for the majority of the money?
Yeah, it's that whole. I can't wait for more reporting to come out of that because I have no idea why that would have happened unless Penn State had some cause against James Franklin, because it's the same thing. Brian Kelly, LSU is trying to do the same thing with Brian Kelly. They just tried to negotiate it down to like 20 or 25.
Yeah, man. And then they also said they didn't really even fire him. Like,
LSU looks like a bunch of buffoons.
Of course they do.
You got the dumbass governor saying what he's saying. And you got the whole.
But
thing.
if you could just negotiate down a buyout to whatever you want, then Florida State could do that too. So you can't. Texas A&M would have done it with Jimbo. You can't just do that. So there had to be a reason why they did it. But now Virginia Tech ends up paying his salary, which doesn't really make sense for Virginia Tech. But we need more information on that situation.
True or false, Norvell must win his final 2 games to keep the job? ? If he loses to NC State, that's 3-13 in his last 16 ACC games. If he loses to UF, that's 2 losses to interim head coaches this season and 2 versus UF in his career. Very disappointed in FSU's lack of finality on fired or not in late November.
That's why I'll just go back to it. I'm not saying it should or shouldn't happen. Make the decision after NC State. I just loathe the thought of a Florida game, let's say it's 5-6 Florida State versus 3-8 Florida. That dictates Florida State's future. Come on, man. One game, one dumb game.
But you're saying that NC State does then.
I know.
That's the problem with your
I know.
thing there.
I know.
He just prefers it be NC State, who he loathes less than Florida.
Well, also, like, yeah, I guess. Yes, I think if he loses NC State and goes winless again, I would be done with it. There's no salvaging. A win over Florida doesn't salvage anything, is what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't salvage. Why would that salvage your career?
NC State does, and then a loss to Florida?
I think it can kick the can down the road, and then you just say, man, who cares about this stupid Florida game? You're in a bowl. You tripled your ACC wins. You tripled your wins overall.
You know the fans care much more about beating
Florida. But also the timing of it. It's also the timing of it. Like, National Signing Day is the Wednesday after the Florida game. You're gonna wait until Sunday, December 1st, to decide if Mike Norvell is going to be your head coach?
Well, this is what we were saying earlier in the show, that when you didn't fire him after Stanford, if you were going to keep him because you didn't want to pay the money, the play was to announce you were keeping him.
Right, but
then the bottom could have fallen.
Yeah, the
out.
Bottom fell off.
There's no good answers here, man. They're in a situation where there's just no.
But
good
if you wait till the Saturday after the NC State game, that is 10 days. That's a 10-day runway to get somebody in here and try to get a staff together and get a class salvage.
The class is fine. Like we just saw, they have like 30 commitments almost. I mean, the class isn't falling apart.
I'm saying if you fire your coach, it might fall apart.
We'll see. Honestly, I just think because the way it works now, all these kids, they already know what their financial package is going to be. I don't know that you're going to just decommit and find out what somebody else is.
Does that happen when a new coach might be, I don't want that kid. I'm not paying him that.
Well, I mean,
that's why I'm saying
but it doesn't necessarily mean they're all going to.
Wouldn't it behoove them to have a little more than 2 days or 3 days? It could be 10 days, gives you a little more option. So I just think the timing of it would be better. One way or the other, the timing of it would be better.
Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Hey, Knowles fans, it's Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage, proud sponsor of the Jeff Cameron Show. If you feel like the housing market is on a losing streak, I can help you find new momentum and respond. Waiting for mortgage rates to drop could actually cost you more in the long run. When rates fall, home prices and buyer competition go up. That's why I'm helping Knoll Nation to get pre-approved now. So when the perfect home hits the market, you're ready to score before the other team even lines up. Whether you're buying your first home or upgrading your dream home, I'll guide you through every step with passion and preparation. Let's get started today, and you can do that at loansforknowles.com. That's loansforknowles.com. You can reach me at 954-369-6171. That's 954-369-6171. I'm Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage, helping Knowles everywhere find their home field advantage.
Services, comfort just a call away.
222-7722. AC and electric is what we do. Service, repairs, and installation too. 222-7722.
Parker Services, comfort just a call away. Parker Services, comfort just a call away.
Fall is here, and that means it's time to make sure your home is ready for the season ahead. At Parker Services AC and Electrical, a peak performance membership keeps your comfort systems running at their best year-round. Members enjoy priority scheduling, exclusive discounts, and seasonal tune-ups that help identify small problems before they turn into big repairs. Don't wait until your heater has issues. Call Parker Services today and ask about peak performance membership.
Parker Services, comfort just a call away.
License number CMC 050334, EC 130124140.
Feeling sluggish? Wake up your body the right way with Vigor. The all-new Vigor Cold Plunge Tub from Hot Spring Spas is now available exclusively at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas in Tallahassee. Boost circulation, reduce inflammation, sharpen your focus, and more. Elite athletes do it daily, and now you can too. Experience the power of cold therapy in your own home. Come see the Vigor Cold Plunge, available only at Pinch a Penny on Capitol Circle Northeast and Greer Road.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Garrett writes, I hope Tom's feeling better. What was the worst car wreck you guys were ever in? Oh.
So it's an interesting. We almost died. Legitimately
Corey's
coming down 75 South, right near Gainesville.
Mm.
I was in the left lane. It was wet and rainy, and I had bad tires. and I'm getting over the middle lane, and I spin out going 80 miles an hour.
Hydroplaned.
But no, and I started spinning.
Right.
Because I'm an idiot, and I know they say you're supposed to turn in. Come on, man.
Corey.
When you're going 80, good luck trying that. Turn backwards into traffic.
Corey thought he was in teacups at the.
So I tried to get it back, and then it just I lost all control, and I'm just spinning off the highway. Going, I was saying, and that's how I react. It went real slow.
Yeah.
And I said the S word.
It does go real slow.
Like saying that panicked, and my back of my Isuzu Rodeo
great car.
hit a tree and split the car in half right up into the back seat.
It hit the back of
It hit the back of the Rodeo and split it up into the back seat.
What year was this?
2003 or 4.
The tree was butted up to his back seat.
Yeah.
Woo.
So if it hits my side, I'm dead instantly, and if it hits the front of the car, I'm probably not in great shape. But I got lucky that it hit the back. Maybe even if it hit the other side, the tree might hit me. I mean, I took a deep breath. I felt around. My leg hit the steering wheel, but the airbags didn't deploy. And then I walked to a call box and called the cop. Because you remember back then in the highway, you could just the call box, and I was right next. It's like mile marker 403 or something. It's right near Gainesville, like the first exit.
Mile marker 403.
And every time I pass it, I point to Stephanie. It's like we're almost died.
Ira.
So mine wasn't. It was me riding a bicycle and getting run over by a car. But I actually was riding my bicycle. Car comes out of a parking lot.
And this was a couple years ago?
I was 12 years old.
Oh, okay.
And it was on Good Friday. And ride my bicycle, car pulls out. I slam on the brakes. I flip over the bicycle, 10 speed, flip over the bicycle, slide under his front tire.
Whoa!
So his tire's here. I'm laying in front of his tire, and he never saw me. And so,
oh geez,
but when you fall,
run over, yeah.
Oh, I got run over.
Yeah.
So
tires went boop, 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 boop.
So when you fall, you don't just jump right back up. So I lay there for a second. I'm like, oh crap, And then all of a sudden I feel him start to drive, and he drives his tires on my leg.
Oh!
And I can hear the car it's like he's trying to give it a little bit of gas to get over whatever it is.
He's confused.
It's my leg, and then the bicycle is also wedged under the front of his car. So people drive. This is a 4-lane road, 2 lanes each way in Miami.
Yeah, they saw it. They started screaming.
People are slamming on their brakes, yelling at him to back up off this kid's leg. So he backed up off my leg, but in the meantime,
what did he think he was on?
I don't know. Well, he got out of the car with a beer, by the way.
Perfect.
But anyway, and he didn't have
a different
license.
time.
My dad was like, you couldn't get hit by somebody driving a Mercedes. Just destroyed all the muscles in my leg. Same type of thing in terms of how you got lucky. Apparently, it was so close to the femoral artery.
Yeah, femoral artery.
That I would have bled out right there. But thankfully, it didn't. But it took me 3 weeks.
Think how close we are to Seminole headlines never being a thing.
It took me 3 months to learn how to walk again.
I took my stepdad's 280ZX when those were very popular cars, badass cars. Yeah. I was driving my stepbrother, his son, his biological son, to his office downtown St. Pete, where he has a law office, and he was interning over the summer. And for some reason, he had other appointments that day, and he allowed me at 16 years old to take his 280ZX to drive John to the office.
But hey, Jeff, keep it
keep it
within
cool
the speed limit.
Yeah.
So here's what I did as we went past Lake Maggiore in St. Pete towards downtown. A guy pulled up alongside me at the red light and revved his engine. And I said, oh, you don't want a piece of the 280ZX, baby.
Of course.
Not with this 16-year-old driving.
Was he challenging it?
Yes. Oh, yeah. So we gunned it. And I got it to about 109 going around a bend when I lost control of the car and slid into a side of a bridge, this little body of water. We hit it on his side after spinning around 3 times, loud as hell. It was super slow motion because I was staring at him thinking I'm going to kill my brother. This is unbelievable. We came to a screeching stop. The front end was caved in. The backside was pushed under. The door was jammed. And he turned to me and started laughing and said, "You are so effed." And I laughed and said, "I am," because he was okay. And I knew it right then and there. And we got out of the car. And then I tried to lie to the accident investigator, who was like, "Yeah, we see the skid mark started back there. You weren't going 30."
Working.
Yeah, I was going like 35.
I was like, "Sir, I was going like 40. I think the tire must have popped." He's like, "Skid marks are 200 yards back, buddy. I don't think you were going 40." I was like, "Oh man, they have ideas about how this works." And so
So drive safe out there, everyone.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah,
you guys were unlucky. I was a dumbass.
Well, I should have had better tires.
Jonesing for FSU. Good day, fellas. Let's do a little time travel. It's week 1 of the 2026 season, and Mike Norvell is the head coach at Florida State University. What is the message you're sending out to the masses? Admin got it wrong, or a wait-and-see approach? Well, I think we would have to do a wait-and-see approach. You already know how we feel about what's happened up to this point. We would have already made a move. They didn't. So now you would just wait and see how it plays out. Am I right?
Yeah.
And also, I don't think it behooves anyone to, if he does come back, because they get this big road dub in Raleigh, that for 9 months we talk about, like, no, Florida State doesn't take itself seriously or is a joke. I don't believe that. I do think they think he can win here. They might be foolish in that, but I do think they can win here because, again, look around the country. There are teams that have never won that are winning.
And they don't want to spend the money.
If they lose to NC State, I'm calling Heartline. I'm calling Heartline Friday night. You know what I was thinking about that? I was thinking about that when I was in the bathroom just now, Ira. Is by the way, we just passed 2:30.
You're on the clock, Dr. Birch.
You talk about getting a modernizing the program and having that kind of approach. Wouldn't Brian Hartline at Ohio State? I mean, they do it better than anyone. So he could bring. I know they have much more resources.
He's also never been a head coach,
but he's seen what that
so does
instrument.
Your guy at Georgia.
But that's what I was going to say.
They've seen what that instrument looks like. I think maybe in practice and not just in theory, and maybe they'd have a little better insight into how to set up something like that.
I do think Ohio State and Georgia have had the benefit of being rolling when this era changed.
Yeah,
and I think that they didn't have to build through the portal, because once you start building through the portal, it's by definition not going to be as sustainable. And that's why, people are mad at Florida State for doing it, but Indiana is rewarded for doing it because it's working now. It may not work a year from now. Indiana has not, they have not built that through high school recruiting.
I was going to say, I wonder what their rankings are right now in the high school recruiting ranks. Probably not high.
They got some things going for them, that's for sure. However it works,
Heisman Mendoza.
I agree.
Did you see somebody posted about Signetti's dad was with Bowden?
He was.
Yeah, and that they go back a long way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and then he took over for Bowden with Bowden left. Yeah.
Oh,
West Virginia.
Yeah. All right, I didn't know that.
Chris says, is it just me, or are all signs pointing to Norvell coming back right now, and that the university's fine with mediocrity? Well, I think it does look that way. Yes, it does look that way.
I would say that
he'd have to lose both these games. We think, right?
I think he just has to lose Friday night. But I think let's slow that down a little bit about Florida State being okay with mediocrity. They are maybe being financially reasonable and
You're
realistic.
not going to want to fight this fight all summer because this is
I know.
Looks, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, we can't keep doing this.
And it's not mediocre. They suck.
Well, right. but again, it's like
6-6 is by definition mediocre.
2 of the losses, 2 of the wins, you didn't even count. So they're 4 wins. And then secondly, they lost to Stanford. Get the hell out of here.
They beat Alabama. They beat Alabama. Great win.
Again, the challenge is what the challenge or the decision that they have to make is, what's it going to cost to get rid of Mike Norvell, and what can we get in his place?
Yeah.
That's the question. And that's the part that everybody just assumes you're going to be able to get the perfect coach.
Well, but no.
Well, if you don't, and you owe $250 million on the stadium, $150 million on the indoor facility, and now $60 million on a coach.
Yeah.
And then 2 years from now, you have to buy out the next coach.
And if he sucks again next year, you're going to owe pretty much that same sum.
Man, again, that's not.
But maybe
he
doesn't
come from somewhere.
Maybe it doesn't suck.
I get that. We know they could get the money. I think it's far less about having a guarantee. There isn't going to be one.
I agree.
There is no guarantee.
But somebody
this
you feel
is the price
great
of playing
about.
big time college football.
There's somebody you feel great about. That's what you don't know. And then maybe they do. Maybe they don't.
Yeah, I don't know who that would be, because they're not going to get Kiffin. They don't want Kiffin. They didn't get Franklin. Who would it be that you would feel great about?
You wouldn't.
There isn't anybody.
I think that's why when they're making
But I know what this is.
Well, you don't know that if you get a better roster, you don't know that Mike Norvell
That's what I keep trying to point out.
How many years would he have to be bad before you can I know he's not a good coach at this point? How many years? 5, 6 years you could suck, and we're just going to, well, no, wait a minute.
I look at a team that lost 3 games for sure that they easily could have won.
Yeah,
so it's not like it's a disaster.
It's not like an outlier.
I agree, man. I'm just saying that it's not like it's a debacle. If it was a debacle, yes, I think they would do it. But I think that they feel like he can get there, or at least good enough that where it's not worth that money, and they can't replace him with somebody better. Again, man, like everybody would want a better coach. I'm sure the people that are making the decision would want a better coach.
Yeah.
It's just, what's it going to cost? And how confident are you that
we agree. It's clearly the money. Yeah. It's clearly the money. because the 3-16 or whatever we want to cite ain't it. He's not winning. You don't need much more evidence. He's not winning.
Yeah, but again, I would point to, like Ira keeps trying to point to, you fix this with a roster and all of a sudden Mike Norvell looks like a competent coach again. Like, again, that's you can't just sit there and say in 2026 that Florida State can't be good with Mike Norvell as the head coach.
No,
you can say
I'm saying you base decisions on what is happening over the course of a 2 full season sample size.
But you admit
it's not
they're
like
better.
It's willy-nilly.
Well,
I mean,
I get it.
know they're not good.
You're right, of course. But also, that does not mean that they won't be good next year.
Right.
And it is a huge financial burden.
Oh, it comes back to that.
Right.
That's
if
what
it
this
was
is
a
coming
$10 million
back to. It's
buyout,
the money.
So when you say you're not,
that doesn't mean that Florida State is okay with being mediocre because they don't want to spend $50 million on a wild card pick.
That's the difference. When people say you're okay with being mediocre, that's like saying you're okay. I mean, you're fine with it. You're not fine with it. It's just, man, there is some cost benefit analysis.
Yeah, and so to me, what the message it sends to the fans is that, look, they don't have the money, and if you assume they don't have the money, then it feels awful lot like being a second-tier program because you wouldn't put up with this if you had an option. If you thought that you could just make a change, start anew, there are no guarantees, admittedly, but we're in the business of winning big-time football games. Every investment they've made in the last 40 years suggests as much, and this is not to the standard, so we have to move on. And when you don't, because of the money, then you don't get taken seriously.
Until you
think
win.
That's unfair. You may think that's unfair, but that's the way.
No, I don't
works.
think that's unfair.
When Auburn's paying off 4 different head coaches at the same time,
but they take it
taken
seriously. They take seriously. I don't take Auburn seriously. I don't take Florida seriously.
No, I'm not taking Auburn seriously.
Well, then who cares who gets taken seriously?
No, I'm saying that you are not in the business of wanting to be taken seriously at this point if you won't make a change with this.
I don't care if you get taken seriously at all. I care about them being a good football program again, and I'm not 100% convinced that Mike Norvell can't do it. I'm getting there, but I'm not 100% convinced.
You were already there.
Yeah, no, I know. But
you were already there.
I thought he should have been fired. I don't think that means that 2026 with a new quarterback and a new roster that they can't somehow, in some miraculous fashion, compete for an ACC championship that's about to be played between Virginia and Georgia Tech.
Right. This was the easiest year in the world to be a part of what could be an ACC championship, but you couldn't get it together.
Right. But that doesn't mean that
there's not a single good team in this conference.
There
Miami,
isn't.
maybe.
Miami's kind of good.
What is Georgia Tech going to be next year? But how paid is Brent Key going to get paid based on what Haynes King did?
Who knows?
But Georgia Tech's going to be taken seriously.
Tony Elliott hadn't won anything until they bring in the 6-year quarterback who's got them
Mike's
success.
efforts to find, evaluate, develop, and put a good quarterback back there is on display.
I'm with you, but the point was, if you get a good quarterback, can't that change everything? And because you sign, but the point is you're having to pay $60 million.
Again,
what we're getting
Whereas
back
if you get
to.
get the right quarterback, maybe you don't have to spend $60 million to go 8-2.
I'd rather spend $5 million on a great quarterback than $50 million on a guy not to coach.
You're trusting that this guy who has had this much trouble with quarterbacks is going to get the right guy in here and coach him up, and we're going to be great.
Hey, man.
I'm trusting
he saw
that
the light in Jordan
right
Travis.
If you have the right quarterback, then I don't think he's the problem.
Yeah, but what gives you the idea that he's going to find that kid?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Looking at the structure of your program and having somebody help in the personnel decisions. Again, you would say it's propping it up. I'm like, well,
whatever
the reality
takes.
is you owe this money.
Yeah.
And there might be a better path is all I'm saying.
Money better spent than bringing in Alex Golish.
I'm
what I
not
mean?
Even saying that.
Or Willie Fritz.
No, there isn't a guy that anybody's going to jump up and down about.
That's the problem. So you're paying $80 million to maybe get better.
Well, it'd be hard-pressed not to be better, Corey. If you look at the record in the ACC the last 2 years, there's only been one other team worse than Florida State in the entire conference.
I know. They've been unlucky. That's why NC State is such a big game, gang. That's why NC State's the one.
Again, this is not Ira's plan or what I think should have happened. What I'm saying is there is another side to it. And that I don't think it's fair to say they're just idiots. They don't care. That's not true.
That's a really bad brush to paint with. Florida State just spent all that money on everything around this program,
right,
and got that guy to keep him here from going to Alabama. They care more than almost any program in the country.
No, what I was reading a question and telling you don't want to do this fight in the entire summer because the vast majority of the fan base echoes Chris's sentiment that this is being allowed to stand and rewarded.
I think it's our responsibility, though, to present the fact that there is other information.
It's not that they're happy being mediocre.
It's the money.
But
let's just say that it's the money.
But that doesn't mean you're happy being mediocre.
Oh, people aren't whistling around the halls at going 6-6.
Florida State's goal in 2026 is to be 6-6 again. That's not what they want to do.
Yeah, of course, it's not what you want. I want to win the national championship next year, but we have realistic discussions about what's possible based on the evidence before us. If you tolerate it over a certain period of time, it's okay to say about those people that they're not serious. You would understand where a fan would think that. That's all I'm saying.
With a better quarterback, a better passing quarterback, do you win the Virginia game?
Oh, you could go through every one of these, but you did lose the Stanford game, and you did go to the 10 last year, and you did.
The counter to that is, why did you have to bring in Tommy Castellanos anyway? That's all on Norvell, too.
That was a marriage that they decided to go with.
No, but also you didn't have anybody here to play the quarterback position either, and that's all on Norvell.
And that was the point I was making earlier. Like, I don't want this guy making a decision on a quarterback. He's failed across the board.
Yeah.
He lucked into Jordan Travis, and we hit before and after.
This is the problem. Neither one of us think Mike Norvell has done a great job this year and deserves to keep his job at all. We are kind of arguing, though, why Florida State might want more than anything
and it's
for him to win
all
these
I'm
games.
Doing is making it abundantly clear. It's the money. And then that is going to make people feel a certain way.
But as somebody that's been doing this show now for 15 years, we know that Florida State does not accept mediocrity, and they're not okay with this. There is an extenuating circumstance with an enormous payout.
Yeah.
That has to be part of the calculus when you're talking about this.
This is where Florida State gets hurt by the fact that they don't have Penn State money. They don't have Notre Dame money. They don't have whomever, Auburn money, I guess. I mean, they don't.
Especially when they just took on $400 million.
Because if they did, there's no way that you would watch this and say, I'm cool with it.
Right.
So when the other programs do it, it makes you feel less than. That's how they. That's how people are going to feel.
Don't judge yourself like that, you weirdos. You're Florida State fans. Don't feel less than.
No, but you're seeing my point, though, right? That's when they watch other schools do it and not tolerate it and are quick to act. They
guess
we're not in that same class.
Does that work for those schools? Does it work for Florida? They don't tolerate anything, and they've been in the woods for 17 years looking for a new coach and still looking for one.
Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Your local news now.
The man is behind bars after being accused of stealing a forklift as well as an ATM early Monday morning. Joshua Hidalgo, 38, was arrested and faces several charges. The 38-year-old's arrest comes after officers responded to the area of Birmingham Street just before 5:15 a.m. after someone reported seeing a person, later identified as Hidalgo, using a forklift to transport an ATM. The forklift was allegedly stolen from a construction site at Griffin Middle School, and the ATM was stolen from outside a McDonald's restaurant in the 600 block of West Tennessee Street. As of Monday afternoon, it is unclear when Hidalgo allegedly stole the ATM and forklift. Shortly after officers located Hidalgo, police say he fled on foot while authorities attempted to question him. Hidalgo was taken into custody in the area of Connecticut and Alabama streets after a brief foot chase. This is Rachel Lene with Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update. Brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Bright sunshine expected this afternoon. Daytime highs approaching 79. Winds out of the south around 5 miles per hour. Lows around 50 tonight. Clear skies. Bright sunshine expected tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 82. Lots of sunshine Thursday with a high of 84. 81 Friday. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawns.com. Currently 80.
Tired of calling 1-800 numbers just to get put on hold? Flush those numbers down the drain and call Terry West Plumbing and Septic Services, now offering Terry's Toilets, providing clean, reliable porta potties for any job site, special event, or backyard party. Real local people doing real work. No robots, no AI, no call centers. For all your septic services and portable restroom needs, one local call wipes away the competition. Call 850-510-8558. That's 510-8558. Or visit terrywestplumbing.com. When you call, we answer.
Big news! Café de Martín has been named one of America's best restaurants, and we want to celebrate with you. On December 10th from 1 to 4 p.m., a national film crew will be in the restaurant capturing the magic of our food, our people, and our community. Come dine with us, enjoy your favorites, and you just might be featured on camera. Join the celebration at Café de Martín, December 10th, 1 to 4 p.m. Café de Martín, where every plate tells a story.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Gotta give Corey credit for telling us to go over here and check the Super chats, or else I would have been remiss in the midst of our debate. I'm going to start at the bottom, and this is Corey, who writes, I was next to Tommy's mom at Legacy Walk. I asked her, and he is hopeful to be back in 2026.
There we go. All right.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I definitely think
back
he's
in college football.
Well, I mean, he may want to come back to Florida State. I just don't know if that's all.
Whether they want him back or not, yeah.
And if you have a new coordinator
or a head coach,
yeah, you might need something else.
Bourbon is your friend writes, new slogan for the men's basketball team at the Tucker Center, tuck around and find out. I don't mind that, actually. There's a game tonight, boys. You'll be there.
Yeah. Yep.
So many ifs. Come on.
It's Leonard Hamilton appreciation halftime.
UT Martin.
Yep.
Ian writes, so many ifs. Come on, man. I think that was directed at you, Corey.
If they get a better roster.
If they do this.
Yeah.
We've got Steve who writes, rushing FSU 9th, UGA 31st, Ohio State 60th. Which running game do you want? And how much do stats even matter as a measuring stick?
It's a great question.
Good point. We've got Darian writing, do we not have confidence that Sperry can be that Tommy 2.0, not quite as mobile, but still very mobile and can toss the ball more accurately? Couldn't he run Malzahn's system?
It's a great question, Darian. And I think we all like the potential there, but we have not seen practice, so it's hard to know.
Yeah. I mean, what are the odds that Sperry is – if Norvell comes back, the only way you sell it is not on an unproven quarterback that may be good and maybe not good. You're going to get a quarterback in the portal. And if Norvell doesn't come back, is Sperry even here? Like, you know what I mean? We might not ever get to see him just because this is the current landscape of college football.
Yeah,
backup quarterback.
There are still a lot of questions that we don't know. I mean, one of them would be whether or not your offense coordinator retires or not. Those are all just rumors that are out there. I have no idea. I haven't talked to Gus Malzahn about this. He hasn't said anything on the record about it. I don't even know that he's talked to too many people about it. We do know that before he took the job, his wife kind of wanted him to retire. We'd heard that. He's even talked about that some. Yeah. So that's out in the open. It's been on his mind. I can't imagine this has been that fun a year for him. But it is speculative on our part to guess whether or not he'll be back. It does seem to me that if Tony has another spot waiting on him somewhere else, that he might leave. I don't know. Did you find that tweet weird?
I just think it was I think he wasn't thinking before he tweeted and that was a
about it's been real Tallahassee or whatever he said.
Final game in Tallahassee.
I think that was more about to the team and expressing his thanks to the crowds that have come out this year, which I think it's his first season in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
So to me, if you were leaving, I don't think you'd tweet that, is all I'm saying.
You don't think there was anything to it. That's why, a lot of people looked at that and went, that's interesting. But again, we don't know if he's back or not. Don't know what the temperature is inside that room, and we don't know if Mike's back. Friday night could get very interesting. It's a short week. Tomorrow's already Wednesday, and we're staring at the game. I mean, it's kind of nuts. And we don't even know how to feel about that game just because I think NC State is pretty clearly ripe for the picking, boys.
Yeah.
But we don't play on the road. We don't play well on the road, so they could show up. And I mean, you would be very hard to, with a straight face, bring him back if God forbid they get housed, which I just don't see happen.
I'm telling you, I would. I know that last segment has people thinking the different. I'm different. I would, if they lose to NC State, there's no let's start over. Just start over. Fire them. You can't go a whole season without winning on the road in the ACC. And I know it's just one road win, but at least it's a road win. At least there's a tangible proof that you've learned something. Because then 5-7 is on the table.
Jonathan says that Ira answered on the Monday Smash. So would Jeff and Corey rather be covering no news from FSU or the nonsense that is LSU right now? Oh boy. Yeah, the no news, I think I'd favor. Yeah. That situation at LSU is comical. Chris doesn't like your BS, Corey, specifically you, about Norvell. He thinks you're doing mental gymnastics to cover up for Norvell.
That didn't sound like a question at all.
He just pointed it out.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thanks, Chris.
Shouldn't it be considered a conflict of interest for an agent to represent a client for a job that a different client currently holds?
Maybe.
You would think.
They probably do it in Hollywood, though, right? Don't they all have the same agents? So if Tom Cruise backs out of him, yeah. If he backs out of a role, the other guy comes in. He's represented by the same guy.
I guess it's just different. I don't think the negotiations go on during a movie. Like you wouldn't halfway through the movie be like, you know what? I want more to finish this movie.
Yeah. I'm doing a great job. You're going to want to keep me. You're going to want to keep me.
It is a weird situation. I mean, that goes back to the Alabama job too, where if you believe what you hear, Jimmy Sexton was kind of running that search for Alabama, and then he's got his clients up for it, and then somehow Mike Norvell
pitting one against the other, and then he gets a raise out of it. Yeah. Well, he's played everybody like a puppet. And this is part of what we have said, that no matter what goes on moving forward, you cannot be held captive any longer.
Right.
Because the iconoclast coach doesn't really exist anymore. There isn't the guy like Nick Saban that you sign and it automatically means you get great players and will win.
Right.
Doesn't exist.
I think the guy that was closest to that just signed with Virginia Tech. And I'm on record. I would, if he was available, I would have taken Franklin the Sunday after the Stanford game.
Well, he was.
I know. That's what I would have done.
Phil writes,
So mental gymnastics or not, I am not sitting here saying Mike Norvell should be the flipping head coach next year. I'm arguing why it's a harder decision than people want to admit.
So really quickly, to get some clarity, I referenced Phil's tweet earlier, but I didn't do it justice. He said, did you know that Bobby Bowden's OC at West Virginia was Signetti's dad, Frank, who replaced Bowden when he left for FSU? After going 17-37 while fighting cancer, he ended up at IUP and became a legend. He went 182-50-1.
This is Sig's dad?
Yeah.
Oh,
Frank,
okay.
Frank Signetti.
Okay.
Of course, his name's Frank. He's like a
That's
detective walking the
yeah.
beat. Forget about it. He's Frank Signetti having a glass of scotch and a cigarette. 182-50-1 with 2 championships. Kurt and Terry were both on the West Virginia team. Small world.
It is a small world. Yeah, it's a small coaching. That's maybe cool. Signetti has some. Maybe he wants to come to Florida State.
Chandler says, don't you guys think that everyone saying it's only a matter of time before Mike's fired is hurting recruiting? I know he's been bad lately, but stacking more chips against him only further backs up the program. Well, I don't think what we say here matters at all to recruits.
That loss in Stanford spoke a lot more than
Seminole JAS wants to know, was Franklin ever under serious consideration? I think I asked you that last hour. You said doesn't seem like it, right?
I mean, if they wanted him, they could have got him.
Yeah,
they certainly would have gotten him over Virginia Tech. Now, again, that could have been just they don't want him at this price in this situation, and especially as it turns out, he negotiated down his buyout. So,
basketball tonight, boys.
That's right.
What do you think is a better chance of happening? Tony White is somewhere else next year, or he's the interim coach in Gainesville?
The interim head coach for Florida State. I don't think he'll be the interim head coach for Florida State.
So, better chance he's somewhere else next year.
I would think that's more likely.
So if they announce that Norvell's done after NC State,
I would say if they announce he's done after
he
NC
should coach
State,
the game.
They should let him coach the Florida game.
And he should want to coach the game.
Yeah, I think he would.
And then they would lift up. I'm telling you, that's how it ends best for everybody
Zucker
involved.
part 2. Ron Zucker part 2.
You go in there, you win that game, Mike. You plant that flag in the middle of the field, and your team, you get in a brawl, and then your team carries you out on their shoulders. Man, that's the way to go out.
Bloodied
and
victory.
And if he's smart, he'll bring like stacks of cash in his pockets and just be
throw them to the fans that stuck around to
make
cheer
it rain,
on.
Mike. Make it rain.
Come on, Mike.
Friday seems to be important, guys. Tonight we'll satiate our appetite for competition with a fun young basketball team, buddy. Let's get it on.
They got playing a Tennessee Martin team that already has a win over UNLV
and a win over Bradley. It's a good team. Yeah,
and
win
also
at UNLV.
I think at halftime they're honoring Leonard Hamilton because he played at Tennessee Martin.
Yeah, that's his alma mater, right? Yeah, and he was a stud. And there's 2 pictures of Leonard Hamilton that I love from his time at UT Martin. If I were Hamilton, I'd hand them out and have them on the wall. Yeah. It's a picture of him going up above the rim for a a rebound.
Yeah.
Were these massive ass legs.
Crazy. And it ain't like he was doing 600-pound squats back then either. They don't do that kind of
Leonard's
stuff.
just built different.
Yeah,
You look at
it's
Leonard,
unbelievable.
You're like, damn, Leonard.
I wish I would have. I wish I had seen him play or had video of him playing like playground basketball. Because when I went up and did that story on him in Gastonia, just the
did they
guys
say
that
he was
played.
legend?
Oh my, this is unbelievable.
Thundering on bitches.
And they would go
Yeah.
play. They would play like older men. Like they were like in their teens, 15, 16. They would play like these 25-year-olds, and dudes would like want to beat his ass after games because he just destroyed him on the court. And apparently he handled himself in that area.
He could handle himself.
Oh, yeah. As if we had any doubts.
No.
Just kind of looking at Leonard.
He was
you're
a
like,
bad man.
Yeah, Leonard was
Imagine
bad
him
man.
and Greenberg after one of those games getting into a fight.
Oh, I wish I would have seen it.
Man, wouldn't that have been awesome?
Just whooping Greenberg's ass. He's an annoying clown.
Just grab him by the tie.
Corey, say goodbye.
Peace out.
There you go.
Peace out.
The Mike supporter leaves us.
Come on, Mike.
Ira, say
Finally,
goodbye.
we got rid of Corey.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bonus hour coming up next with me and Tom. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, be well.